when I saw the silhouette and just the huge amount of front hood and, well, the amount of cabin, well, this is my cup of tea, especially because it delivers the extra room and overall comfort, and, well, I'm still able to drop the top. Now, some other design things to point out: you have implied extractors here on the front fender and there at the back end, again implying obviously what might lie beneath here. They're not truly operational, but give it a nice sporty look, a little bit of flair at the back end. But this vehicle is very subtle in its overall design, nice sculpting and voluptuousness, but no chiseling or, again, no poking at everyone as it goes by. There are a multitude of viewpoints when it comes to 850, and wait, I'm not referring to critics, but specifically when you walk around it. Now, certainly when you look at the front, has a nice aggressive tone, the chiseling there on the hood, but when you look at the profile, nice and soft around the edges, so cute and cuddly. Well, not cute and cuddly, but you get the point. Swing around to the back, and, well, the aggression hits you again, and this is pretty much because this is the last thing people are going to see, and you're going to hit them hard as, well, you hammer it down the road, and you see it with the chiseling and the quad pipes and just the aggressiveness with the implied extractors here on both sides. That's what I like about the 850. Even its worst critics can't complain that, well, it just doesn't have the right tone. It certainly does. It pretty much hits every point. Nice and soft around the edges, and you hit them hard on the aggressive. Now let's look at the next point, which is the quad pipes. Looking at the back end, you simply think it's just a nice dual approach, which seems to again fit the overall facade of this vehicle. If you had 4-cylinder shaped quad pipes, people may be taken aback because, well, it's just a nice fluffy ride. But when you look a little bit closer, notice dual pipes on both sides. Well, that reminds people, especially when they're up and running, that, well, this vehicle means business and isn't just soft around the edges. For any weekend warrior like this vehicle, it all starts with trunk space, not just horsepower, because if you can't get the people there and their cargo, what's the point? And that's a big advantage to a big coupe like this. It just, well, delivers everything with ease. Before we get there, let's talk about ingress. Real easy and real simple. Put your hand here, unlocks, and at the same time unlocks the fill-up area. And that's a crucial point because a lot of vehicles just not delivering security to the fill-up area. Just a case in point, it is cap system. I don't really care anymore. It's up to you what you prefer. But simply when you walk away, just press right here, locks everything up, especially this area as well. Now swing around to the business end, the good old weekend. What are you gonna need? All your stuff. In a typical small roadster like the Z4, pretty much gonna have a little knapsack and that's about it. But not here. Around about 12.4 cubic feet lying beneath this rear deck lid. Now really easy to operate, just simply press right there, rises to the occasion. Now once it's open, going to find decent horizontal width right here, really open mouth offering. Now it is quite cavernous. Now what you're going to find here, these outer niches, really room enough to maybe put some golf clubs there. But the big win is what's right behind here. Now what this is obviously a protector, lets you know when the roof is down where it's going to impact. So if you put some fragile items there, this reminds you where not to put them. But when you put that out of the way, what you're going to see is a huge cavernous area. Now this is where, again, you could hit the golf course or even the long week away because you can put tons of things back there. Now certainly if you get some items that slide way back there, it's going to require you to almost dive in with a good old miner's cap to retrieve the items. But to me, again, with this overall length, this is where the 850 has one big advantage. Without further ado, there's one thing we've all been waiting for, and that of course is for me to keep talking, and well, also let's get to the engine. Now what we have here is a 4.4 liter turbocharged 8-cylinder engine. Now it's going to deliver around about 523 horses and 553 foot-pounds of torque. And for this 5,500-pound vehicle, that pretty much means 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. Now it's coupled to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And one thing I also like it's coupled to is all-wheel drive. Now all the multiple viewpoints in this vehicle don't stop at the grille or the profile or the back end, but simply direct you right here at the four corners, really with these nice open face wheels and, well, the blue brake calipers staring right at you. Now wrapping the wheels is basically a 245/35 in the front, 275/30 in the back, and oh, by the way, these are 20-inch. Now what's great about a elongated footprint like this is simply my 6-foot+ frame climbing in with ease and not looking awkward. And simply dropping the top is also so easy. And one thing you have to do before you drop the top is make sure that partition's in the back in the trunk. A lot of Roadsters require a separate tonneau cover to hide the guts and operation of the top, but thankfully that's all one fell swoop here on the 850. Now what you're going to see when it comes to overall comfort truly is in the pilot and co-pilot seating. Around about 42 inches of legroom, really plenty of room to stretch out for any size individual. Now if you do want to give a little bit to the back, you might have to give a lot because this is a 2+2 design. Around about 29 inches of legroom, and as you can tell with the seats in their further position, pretty much no room at all. Now the 850i doesn't want to compromise ingress to anyone, not just the driver, but to backseat passengers, and the way it works is simply by pulling this here, pulling the seat back forward, and the seat automatically slides. Now certainly this is helpful when there's, well, a roof in place, but when it's not, it makes life so much simpler. Now this is great for the four-legged friend. As for overall styling, you will find kind of the coupe seats, really sport there, and the bench really with a straight back there for the seat backs. Front seats do have two memory settings, both for the pilot and co-pilot. As for setting comfort on the seats, that is to be expected. Power controls, though you do have a nice manual release here for the front thigh support, really elongating the overall comfort. Sleek is an understatement when you talk about the BMW and its overall look on the inside. First off, you're going to see this nice, huge, oversized screen. It is touch, though it is kind of an arm stretch away, so the likelihood of you actually interacting with it will be more through the central knob. Now, you do have quadrants like you see here. Using the central knob, you can just simply go right into a certain area, zoom it in, real easy to get there. Now, when you go to the center controls, typical like you've seen on other vehicles, nice shortcuts up above with media, so on. Home will get you back to the various functionality. Now once you go into a certain area, when you go to like the media, you can just simply use the knob, scroll up and down through the various stations. Now what I also like is if you get lost, simply hit the back. Real easy to use and really intuitive. Climate control takes it to the next level, really with the dual zone specifically for everything, right down from mode selection, fan speed, and temperature. A lot of vehicles just simply giving you dual zones when it comes to temperature, but this really giving you the functionality to separate it out between the front occupants, but everything pretty much right through the middle where you need it. Now if you want to heat or cool down your seats, that's simply done by pressing the button over here and selecting what you prefer, heating or cooling. And I just like this interface because again, real easy to use with the toggle. Just simply find, set your level. Now one thing you will note with any air conditioned seats, there is kind of an AC like noise, the air obviously flowing, so don't lose your mind like I do and forget, well, it's running and where's all that noise coming from. You don't need cup holders all the time, so when you don't, just hide them away, and when you do, just simply reveal them. Now what you're going to find is dual cup holders, nice springy grip there to hold any beverage in place, plenty of height up above, really takes any size drink. What I also like is back here, no cords needed, but instead just wireless charging when the phone is so equipped. Push it back and it lights right up, lets you know it's charging. Then you can just pretty much hide it away. Now what you're going to see between the drivers as well is also just a lot of function, basically the sport, comfort, various driving modes here, also some other functions when it comes to just driving, video, parking, and the auto start feature for the engine, basically keeping it from shutting off when you get to stop signs. Front pilots will have this nice center console divided again, armrest on both sides, and you do reveal a nice console down beneath with connectivity and traditional power outlet and a USB. For the gauge clutch, you'll find a huge digital readout both for speed and tachometer with a nice numeric number for the speed for a quick glance. Now when you do change your radio settings, that will pop over there on the right side but go away so you can go back to your normal gauges. One could argue that the 850i is just too big, too curvaceous, too voluptuous, and just too heavy. But you could also argue too much horsepower, too much technology, and too much fun. And well, that would be the better argument because simply put, the 850i delivers, and where it delivers isn't exactly what you want to argue about. Too much of everything, and that's what I like about this vehicle. And while you might want the smaller Roadster, well, you could put that in the trunk of this and have more fun with this vehicle because it certainly delivers on every count. Now, as always, thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.